Hi guys, LENORMAND time. So this is going to be mid-May to mid of June. So this is actually one of my favorites, if not the favorite. My steady clients just like, do LENORMAND cat, please do LENORMAND. It kind of like tells you, hey, look left and look right. This is who might be anticipating what can happen. You know, with LENORMAND you get lots of things that you kind of like we hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst. And this is sort of like almost telling you kind of like, hey, jump over this, etc., etc. So also really quickly, the school is starting on the 15th. So last call for this, kind of like check my website, cattara.ca, and check kind of like the schooling schedule. The second thing, my speed up promotion is still on, which is awesome. Instead of 3 weeks, you kind of get a reading within a week. And I also upgraded Rush, so instead of 7, you get it in 3 days. And Urgent, which used to be 3 days turnaround, now you get it in 24 hours. So if you kind of like really want to get a reading, this is a really good time, because one thing that I miss in Canada is spring. We kind of transition from winter to the summer. So just a couple of weeks ago we had a snowstorm, and now my air conditioning is working like full force. So hence I'm going to be spending some actually time with myself and with my close ones in the summer. So kind of like try to squeeze in yourself in time. And so I also wished happy birthday and happy belated birthdays to all Tauruses, as well as the birthdays for Geminis, who will be also celebrating during this period. So without much further ado, guys, I also ask you to please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and all the best. Love you. Hi Leo, and welcome to your May-June forecast. So let me just like give you a really quick intro. We have two main significators, the gentleman and the lady. Whoa, they're together, and it can be interchangeable, given that, you know, like, I mean, there is the energy in between the two people. Also, there are like some other cards that distinctly can actually describe people. So it's going to be really interesting, because it is like right in the corner, and like you had Tara, like nobody puts baby in the corner. That is going to sort of like resonate with us over here. Now Leo, you kind of like have this sun over here right there for you, which is in the house of the tree, which is the house of the health. It is house of ancestry. Something came to the fore, something even about a commitment of some kind, right? Somebody could be it's kind of strange, because this is in the house of the fox, right? And fox is also lingering here for you. It almost like looks like it is weird. That's why I'm not giving a definite answer. So the house here is a great card. This is kind of like really great corner that I see here. The house, the gentleman, the lady, and the birds are in the house of the stars, and then we have the stars here, and the lady is in the house of the bear. So the lady is very protective, self-protective. The birds is like, and the stars is like definite communication. It all sounds like Cheerio kind of a thingy. loyalty, even possibly pregnancy. But then on the outskirts, we have things looming, like being this ring in the house of the fox. Then we have the scythe. Good thing is like sort of in the past, it maybe could be some kind of like cutting off some kind of commitment, certain things coming to an end. The stork is kind of like a really multi-layered card. It definitely does talk about looking toward the future, going forward, right? So sort of like birds are going to the south kind of a thing. Again, it is going to the second home, kind of like the summer home. It's for you, especially because you have the house over here shifting. Now the house is in the house of the snake, who is could be a person. You see, this is in the house of the ring. So I'm wondering if there was interference with your relationship, that because of the interference, you see, it's kind of like ending over here. The snake is here with the lilies, so maybe there was like something that has been happening, actually not so much behind your back, because you kind of like were completely privy to that information. You have seen this information, but look at the snake has the tower and the lilies. So sort of like there was somebody who kind of have possibly created your problems and possibly have been with somebody else, but that somebody else now, it's kind of like out of the picture, but still kind of like having this enormous, I guess, emotion or connection. At the same time thinking through, where do I go from here, kind of a thing, right? But they are hitting the mountain. They're sort of like at the end of the road. There are lots of things that are sort of like balls up in the air for them, right? They're like, this is the book of secrets in this particular case, and it's also in the house of a tower. This could actually talk about some kind of like legal circumstances, because this can be connected to the man or to the partner. That it could be some, because the tower represents lots of things, from prison to government to tall buildings to, of course, like, I mean, phallic symbols. So maybe this being a key card, like, almost looks like that maybe somebody needs to get divorced, right? And release and go back, you know, in the sea. There is like something that needs to happen in a formal way for things to start moving forward, things to be energized, kind of a thing right here. And there's this decision, do I really want to go through with this, and how do I go through with this? It does feel like sort of like a blockage, and there is like a huge challenge, and you see like this person is not able to get, is willing to get through it, or it could be also some kind of like long distance over here, but the key is saying cannot unlock something, and you sort of like almost like are their kryptonite. But even with that, it doesn't look to me, Leo, that you are so willing to kind of like go to this person. It could be somebody who has been from the past, because this gentleman is in the house of a coffin, which is also in the house of the lilies, right? So it looks like there is like this connection between these three cards. So there is like this threesome where everybody, look, Snake is looking here, she's looking here, he's looking there. Everybody's just sort of like at this stage minding their own business. It could be like the only thing I actually see here, yeah, I see the possible communication, and as I said, possibly even some kind of discussion, but also airing out grievances, I would say, because the birds are not necessarily always the positive card. It could be also kind of like gossipy kind of attitude in a kind of like a thing, you know, like it's when it actually even can cause negativity, especially if you want to resolve certain things, right? Maybe you're simply maybe it is like you, that you are simply going to be talking through about an issue, and it's just like simply getting out of your system, sort of a thing. But the stars like is giving me the kind of like the feel that this could be communication via email or via text, sort of like some kind of electronics over there, right? There is like certain feeling that you might be a little bit fidgety and nervous, and it's kind of like also weird because the birds can represent elderly people and the stork definitely represents kind of like youngsters, right? So that with the house, I don't know, are you preparing yourself for a whole bunch of activities of some sort? I don't know. I would almost, like as I told you, if I kind of would see just this corner, I would say tan tan ta tan, like I mean somebody is kind of like planning the wedding or maybe have been proposed, but then I have this, that something maybe have been planned but sort of like just like hit the wall. And right now almost looks like you're picking up the pieces, kind of like you feel really eroded, but you also feel like stork is kind of like moving forward, getting some kind of enthusiasm, maybe as I'm saying, kind of like dedication to kind of like new things. This is also card of evolution that kind of like can signify a very, very important change, and most always for the better. It actually can also indicate, well, it could indicate physical relocation, but there is the sky cutting it. So you see, this will be air travel, but something maybe that you have planned, it's not going to happen for you. But as I said, maybe it's going to be false false alarm in terms of pregnancy and that kind of stuff. This also can also talk about the mother and some kind of issues with the mother, especially because lady is in the house of the bear, and we know how protective the bear is, and the bear is in the house of the ring. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's why kind of like it's really hard for me to put a finger on it, kind of like where do we go from here. It almost looks to me that, especially with kind of like everything being pushed in the corner, you literally are saying it is time to almost like turn a new leaf. Where is the book? Where did the book land? Book here. Okay, so this is not affecting you. Looks like the things are in the clear. This is kind of like that closure. Like the first card is the cross, something really karmic, and I think lots of signs will be going through that this month. Kind of like, what do I want? Because look at the suppositions. Well, you know, do I really want a children? Or what new projects will I start? Do I want a new job, right? How will I settle down? Like, I mean, what and who do I want to commit to? And this is not only talking about the relationship, but also about, you know, jobs and money and who are your friends, who are not your friends, right? Because like you have this dog here, like you literally for quite a while, and at the very least the last month, you kind of like have been kind of like putting your life under the microscope, and who is working for me and who is not working for me, kind of a thing. But I would say, guys, you're standing really strong. You're standing in the house of the bear, which kind of like is a big kind of like protective, self-protective thing. You are kind of like taking really good care of yourself. It is just kind of like this communication that can come through, but I think it's going to be for the best. And something will either get revived or discussed. And there is like the stars in the house of the heart, and the heart is the house of the garden, which can actually indicate renewal activity, or kind of like hooking up with somebody, dating somebody, meeting somebody. That could also be at work of some kind, but it could also be that something is stemming from the past, right? Because like this is the house of the lilies over here. So there is like more to that situation, especially if you're reuniting with someone. That was like layers and layers of it, and I think maybe you could actually give yourself sort of like an assignment that you write your own essays, like, you know what, I love you to death, but I don't like you. And liking you is more important because this is kind of a day-to-day that we'll be doing, not doing, and hence I'm kind of like releasing you. either it's going to be on your own, that you'll have something like that ritualistic, or it's going to be a aha moment. It's sort of like, you know, there is like that one day when you get up and you are just fine. And this is like what I see happening for you, Leo, in this period of time. So guys, this is a general reading for your privately reading, Leo. It would be really good to check the stars in the house of the heart and the string. It's kind of like, it's really interesting composition over here. So please subscribe, like, share, and you can contact me at cattarot.ca for school or for your private reading. Thank you. All the best. Love ya.